Love 360 is brought to you by HR Certification Center, Naglin.
Getting certified as a professional in human resources gives you recognition as a competent professional with key expertise to respond to all key technical issues regarding people management for organizational growth. Take the next big step in your career and the Global Professional HR Certification in 6 months. Weekend tuition only, physical and online options available. Contact the approved provider of the Global Professional HR Certifications in Ghana, the HR Certification Center, to sign up. Call or WhatsApp for details 0244 122 855, 0244 122 855. Visit phrglobal.com for more information. Are you an HR practitioner or a graduate in any field who wishes to become an HR practitioner? Professional certification is a demonstration of your competence, commitment to excellence, and higher professional standards.
Hey, Abuna, good morning. Is Max in?
Kojo, when did you return from UK? Your friend has gone to the bank. He's going to make payment for his brother's spine surgery.
Spine surgery?
Yes. The doctor said only surgery can save him in his present condition.
Abuna, are you the only stranger in Ghana? I returned to Ghana because of my spine condition. And Naglin has treated me without surgery. My spine condition. And Naglin has treated me without surgery.
Naglin?
Yes, Naglin Mobility Enhancement Center is the only alternative to spine surgery in Ghana. They treat cases like spondylosis, degenerative disc disease, spinal stenosis, scoliosis, antrolisthesis, and many more, providing wards for patients from outside Accra.
Let me call Max immediately. This is the best news I've heard. Where are they located?
Between Chandra Hill Roundabout and Taifa Junction, right by the main road. Call 0244 376 189. Naglin Mobility Enhancement Center. You will walk again.
The I Am Drive, inspirational morning drive.
Hello, happy, and goodbye, fear. There ain't no time for sad songs here, so don't worry. You like that? Be happy.
Okay, I have one.
All right, go.
There's no need for anxiety when the Father gives you what you need. Don't worry. Hey, be happy. Everybody goes, I don't need to live so carefully when I know that Jesus cares for me. Don't worry.
Don't you worry.
Be happy. Everybody sing it. Ooh, 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 ooh,
Don't worry, be happy.
I hope you're all happy this morning. It's been all the way from 6:45 a.m. till now. It's 8:41. So we've done some 2 hours together already. Your messages, your comments getting through right here on the I Am Drive. We're on our Love 360 journey for this month, and it's been amazing, talking about everything that we love in our lives, and it's been absolutely amazing. It's brought to you by Naglin Mobility Enhancement Center, and also proudly brought to you by HR Certification Ghana. And this morning we've started our conversation in a pretty nice way, looking at etiquette, looking at grooming, and we've shared as well how maybe life instances about how grooming or etiquette had either kind of given a bad perception about who we are, or maybe a perception about somebody we knew, how they dress, how they spoke. And so from some days now, I've been working on looking at grooming and corporate etiquette. And this morning, we're talking to Annoh Boadi. She's a growth and strategy lead, elevated professional consult. She's a corporate woman. She's been there. She's done that all over. Pearl is a woman whose life blends vision, precision, and divine inspiration with a strategic force and a creative soul, seemingly blending boardroom precision with brand poetry. In the corporate world, she stands as a strategic architect and marketing strategist, blending research and data-driven insight for innovation and brand growth, yet people-centered. She's a listener of Sunny 88.7 as well. With over 15 years of corporate experience, she's navigated FMCG's leading brand development and marketing in multinational and building brands from scratch with global giants. She's also extends her influence into consulting, training, and professional development. And I'm sure I may have met Pearl along the way somewhere, days that the days that I've gone to some of the companies that she led marketing and all of that. It's amazing to have Pearl Annoh Boadi with us today in the studio. She's a woman here on I Am Drive we love so much, and so we're like, let's talk to Pearl when it comes to grooming and all of that. Pearl, it's good to have you here this morning.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm great. It's lovely to be back here.
How has the year been anyway? I mean, January till February, plans, business. How's everything rolling out?
It's been good. God has been good. And I would say that the year has started really well. And we're looking forward to more exciting days. We're still in early days, and the excitement is one to be really positive about, and to know that yes, the rest of the year would be great in terms of our professional development and how we're grooming ourselves. I know that the people I work with are really poised and in a best position to present themselves, and so I'm excited for my clients and even for our listeners today.
Yeah. Pearl, it reminds me, I think sometime January, we were looking at a series called Reset, where we spoke to people who may have done maybe big corporate, have to move out, to start something on their own. I knew you at Casa Preco, head of marketing and I think strategy, right?
Yes,
at Casa Preco and innovation at Casa Preco. Now you have a business of your own. I'm sure you've moved around corporate kakra.
Yes.
How was the journey having to leave maybe a comfortable job, economically good near idea to start? How was that for you?
Really, for me, this has been something that's been on my heart for a very long time. Even when I was in way back, Olam days, and in my growth professionally, I've had the opportunity to work with a number of companies, multinationals, local companies, and I have seen certain things happen in the corporate world that have disturbed me. Things that are basic that you'd expect corporate people to know. People who are not new to the industry, who are not new to the work environment, to know and actually practice. And they don't do it. And it surprised me. And so I've always had this burning in my heart to be able to help people. In my workplace, I have done that, and sometimes I have people pass certain comments when I make certain corrections, and they're like, please, not everyone is Madam Etiquette here, And so it got to a point where I knew I really needed to take this forward and grow it, and so that is how I decided to take a step. And it wasn't just because of that. Of course, in terms of family, also I needed to help and grow my family. And so these were some of the things that really made me take the step, and by God's grace, it's been good. I haven't left corporate completely. Let me just let you know, I haven't left corporate completely. I am still there and I'm doing this to help our corporate people as well. So it's not just for females, for male, female as well.
Well, this morning we've been talking about something that we hardly say aloud. I mean, like you were saying, people say, well, not everybody is, Madam Etiquette and stuff. We've been talking about how we present ourselves, how we show up, how we speak, at work. And I would say that, work is usually, there's an unspoken language when it comes to work, And our listeners have really responded. I'm going to share a few. I mean, I've selected just a few voice notes, to share with you, for you to take a listen this morning. Maybe just two. We've been talking about how we show up, how maybe it affected us, how our perception of people changed because of either how they dressed. I remember one message where a listener said that she was just absolutely fantastic until she was passing by the boardroom and she heard the head of HR say, she doesn't look like a leader. Say broke hair. And so she went and said, why are you saying I'm not ready to lead? She was like, your appearance, you don't look it. You're fantastic. And this broke hair, she needed that explanation to change, her. And one of our listeners said there was a meeting, a gentleman she really respected, really scolded, and was cutting one, young professional in there, wouldn't let her speak. And that day, her perception of the person change absolutely, including respect for the person. But I want you to take a listen to this message one of our listeners shared. This looks like somebody who knows what she's doing, but still was affected.
Ajuman, good morning. This subject reminds me of very painful experience. I entered an interview room, and the first comment from the first panel was that, did you iron your dress? That broke me for the whole 15 minutes I spent in that room. I can never forget. I don't know how I sat in my vehicle while driving to the interview place, but the dress looked, I didn't even notice that it was crumpled. And that was the welcome address I received on that day. And guess what? I didn't get the promotion. And so I have learned this in a very hard way, that how you look really matters when you are going for an important meeting, an important discussion. Thank you.
The I Am Drive, inspirational morning drive.
Ajiman, I understand. Sometimes you are going through so much. I remember when I first had my child and I was going back to work, I didn't know skirt from top, from blouse to shirt, but someone drew my attention. And so I think in this when you are going through something, we should ask for help, because we can't afford to look like what we have been through.
Right here, I Am Drive. And let me remind you, we're live on our socials right now. Sunny 88.7 on Facebook, on YouTube. When you get on YouTube, subscribe to our page, like our page on Facebook. We're live on Sunny 88.7. And then we're on Sunny TV as well. If you're at work, simply go on your App Store, your Play Store, download the Sunny TV GH app. Get on. We're live on TV right now. You're going to catch Pearl on there, and myself as well. Pearl, I don't know. I mean, do you think the way we dress, the way we carry ourselves at work, seriously, does it seriously affect, how people take us seriously? Is it like a fact? You can be maybe the best on the team.
I'm happy I've listened to these voice notes, and even for the first one that you played, I understand how she felt, that she was really broken. But then again, that for her, I would say that she was very lucky to have had that feedback. Even though it broke her, she didn't get the opportunity, but she was very lucky, because not many people are in the position to even get that feedback in the first place. They are sidelined, they don't get the positions, they don't get the promotions, they don't get the jobs, and they don't know why. And so they end up repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So for her, yes, it's painful, but I'm glad she got that feedback, and then she's been able to change and make a lot of changes till now. So that also tells us how important it is to look the way we want to be addressed. It is said that 85% of promotions and growth and corporate depends on your soft skills. And the soft skills include how you appear, how you dress, how you carry yourself, how you speak to people, the tone, even in emails, how you type your emails, when you're using caps, when you're using small letters, etc. It's this whole entirety that forms that whole 85%. So realize that we go to school for what? How many years? And it's just 15%. And that actually is the foundation. That is not to say that going to school is not important, because that actually is what gets you in the door. However, beyond that, before people even hear whatever it is that's in your brain, they see you. We are not God. It's only God who sees what's in your heart.
That's right.
We are human beings. We see what is before us first, before we hear what you have to say and then get into your brain. And so how you look, how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, how you even sit, whether it's an interview, whether it's your work on a daily basis, how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, all of these things are being watched. In the corporate world, it's not just your results. We're looking at your soft skills, we're looking at your relationship with people, we're looking at how you speak. In meetings, do you talk over your superiors or even people when they are making their points? Do you still keep cutting people in? Are you the loudest? Do you do all of these things? And it's very, very important that we understand, if you're looking to grow ourselves professionally, it's very important. So Ajiman, we can't overemphasize this, and I'm happy that gradually people are getting to understand. Years past, people were only saying, oh, we were employed for our brains, which is true, which is very true. But beyond the brain comes other physical and tangible things that really, really, really matter. And so really, it's important. You can't have one over the other. It's a combination.
I'm going to bring in this WhatsApp that just popped up. It says, Ajiman, it does. Appearance is highly recommended in our space of work. As a modern trade manager for a couple of years now, I can tell you that if buyers, managers will give you any audience, it starts with your appearance. They literally will scan you as you walk towards them. Pearl is on my mind. She just said it. and so, but I think, Pearl, today, I mean, in this, what people call a Gen Z, sort of era, we're beginning to think, you're fine if the brains are good, if you're smart, but then people judge how you look.
Exactly. By
how they feel, how smart you be or not. Personally, have you had to make this judgment? Maybe somebody on your team, somebody you met. I mean, did you have to be conscious? Otherwise, you probably would have written somebody off.
You and I do it every day, consciously or unconsciously. We do it every single day. And did you know that within the first 7 seconds of meeting somebody, you already judge the person? 7 seconds. I didn't say 7 minutes or even 1 minute. Within 7 seconds, you judge the person. And by the time you hit 30 seconds, you decide whether you trust the person or not. And how does the first 7 seconds play out? It's by the person's appearance. So if I see you, by the time I see you, within 5 seconds, I've scanned you from head to toe. I decided, do I like this guy? Do I not like this person? Before I even say, oh, sit down, I've scanned you. And decided,
do I want to talk to this person?
Do I want to talk to this person? Do I want to... And just like you mentioned, in the past, we've met in our corporate life in some meetings. I'll tell you the truth. There are some people who have come for sponsorships and didn't get just because of the way they looked. Not because they didn't have No, it was just because of the way they looked. And the way they presented themselves, and the way they spoke, and the way they come to the meeting, and the way they sit, and the way they position themselves. You come and you have people sitting and turning themselves, putting their hand, and you're wondering what is happening here. Is this how you're going to handle my brand when I give you this opportunity? We judge people, and so it's very, very, very important. We cannot say that. I've done that. in interviews, there are some people who didn't get certain roles, not because they were incompetent, but it's because of the way they presented themselves for the interview, how they looked, how they spoke, how they sat down and they were slouching. And I've had people coming for interviews and they sit and they sink into the chair. And I'm wondering, do you think this is your living room? I don't understand what's going on. Yeah. And we do that. Sometimes people get overlooked about certain opportunities. And yes, Ajiman, I've done that so many times. But there are times when I realize that because of who I am and what I know and understand people, we need to actually hear people beyond what they have to offer physically. And then when we have the opportunity, help them grow and groom themselves. Just like the lady who gave that voice note, she had that opportunity to be spoken to. People that I meet, I have the opportunity to speak to them, to let them know. What about the majority who are not privileged to have people tell them what their faults are?
Yeah.
Sometimes you go for an interview, you won't hear from the HR or the hiring manager again. You don't know what happened. Meanwhile, you felt when somebody, as you had the interview go, it was great. It felt great.
You killed it. You nailed it.
Exactly. But you do know exactly what happened. And you will not hear from them again. If you have the opportunity to hear, they might tell you this and this and this. But if you don't know what is happening. All right. So once we know that the first 7 seconds, people are judging you first by how you look. And then within 30 seconds, they know if they trust you or not. We need to take our appearance very, very seriously.
You know, Pearl, can we at this point talk about maybe some of the common grooming and etiquette mistakes that professionals do make, you know, and how can they correct them, you know, without losing confidence or personal identity? Maybe just a few.
Okay, great. I would break them into two parts and start with the grooming mistakes, very common grooming mistakes, and then move into the etiquette mistakes. When it comes to grooming, basics. Iron your clothes. When you're ironing your clothes, you need to understand the type of fabric and the type of clothes you're wearing and where you're going. We know that linen creases very easily.
Yeah.
And so if you're going for certain meetings, certain interviews, linen is not the appropriate type of fabric to wear.
Before you know, you've sat down and it's just, you know.
And you get up and it's creased all over, and then you get the question, did you iron your clothes? So first of all, know the type of fabric you're wearing, where you're going, and what it requires. Then make sure it is properly ironed. If you need to steam it, now these steamers are very easy to find. They're not expensive. So you need to steam and make sure your clothes are properly cared for. The second thing is, how do you smell? How do you smell? We need to smell good. But are you overpowering such that even when you're downstairs, we can smell you from upstairs? You don't need to announce yourself with your smell, whether good or bad, you know. And especially when it's bad, it's terrible. And so you need to take your personal grooming very, very seriously. When you are in public transport, so I understand that not everyone has the opportunity to drive him or herself to work. And so when you're in public transport and you have to hustle for a vehicle, have a small kit with you so that as soon as you get to the office, go quickly to the bathroom, freshen up, make sure you're clean, and then you can present yourself. And so these are some of the things we people make mistakes on that you need to be very cautious of. Your shoes. So we talked about your clothing, your smell, your shoes. How do your shoes look? Even if you have 2 pairs of shoes, make sure they are clean, they are properly cared for. Okay. Oral hygiene is very, very important. And so these are some of the things that we need to take care of. Your hair. How do you wear your hair? Whether male or female. And I'm not talking just about the hair on your head, the hair on your face as well. Male, it's understandable that now males are growing their beards.
Yeah.
But first of all, understand the kind of industry you're in. Does it allow you to grow your beard? If it does, you have to grow it responsibly. Make sure that it's properly clean, it's shaved well, and it's done that it's presentable. If your industry does not allow you, I've worked in manufacturing for a long time. You cannot be in manufacturing, be in the factory floor, and have a beard. That's
Is
not
it?
acceptable. No.
Wow.
I mean, food. You don't expect your hair to be going into it as well. So these are some of the things that you need to know. And so if you're coming for an interview, say as a production manager, and you come with so much beard, really, you should know the basics. If you don't get it, you should understand. So understand your industry, understand where you are working in. If your industry is a bit flexible, that allows it. Make sure you are clean, shaved, and it's presentable.
Pearl, not to catch you, I remember a friend of mine who, when we're doing our service, he got to work in a bank. And even at that time, he had full beard, and all of that. And the first time I saw him after he got into the bank, I couldn't recognize him.
He had shaved.
They made him to shave, and so I meet him and like he's looking at his younger brother. So somewhere I'm like, what happened? He said, and he was very pissed off. I mean, he really did it. I mean, he's a big banker now, clean shave always. But in that time, and he was like, I'm naked. I'm like, yeah. I mean, when we went to church, everybody kept laughing at him because he looked different. The bank did not allow that time. I don't know about now though. Now you see a few people with very maybe short, sort of trim beard and all, but he was made to shave absolutely everything, and then he didn't like it at all. And so it comes with the industry where you're going to be in.
Yes, it does. So understanding where, and you don't need to lose yourself. Okay, so as you're saying now, some of the banks allow it, but the fact that they allow it doesn't mean you should grow a long beard. It has to be clean. It has to be short. It has to be properly kept. Okay, and even for the ladies as well, what kind of makeup are you doing to work? Are you going to office with a full beard, smoky eyes, red lips? What kind of makeup are you doing? It has to be clean. It has to be appropriate for the office. And so these are some of the mistakes that we find, very, very common mistakes when it comes to grooming. Now let's look at some of the etiquette mistakes that people make in the office. Very simple one. I'll start with one example. In one of the offices that I've worked in the past, there's somebody who was in the office next to mine, and this person would chew gum, and I would hear the person chewing gum in my office. There was a wall. It's not like there's no wall between us. So that should tell you how loudly people chew gum and do certain things. And you'll find that it's very rude to be chewing gum that loud. And it's for you yourself, it doesn't present you as a very properly kept person. Now, in the office, there are certain things that you need to do. How do you even sit? How do you, during meetings, do you slouch during meetings? Do you sit like you're sitting in your bedroom floor, having a movie time? How do you even carry yourself from the time that you get out of your car into the office? Simple etiquette. Do you greet people? People are just walk past everybody not greeting. Greeting is not just a sign of respect. It's an etiquette that we all need to learn. It's a sign of respect, not just for yourself, but to other people. It has opened doors for people in the corporate world and even outside of that people don't even know. There's sometimes that you've greeted somebody randomly. At the car park, you'd have greeted the security without knowing. And then probably by the time you come, you have a flat tire, wouldn't have known. The security would have probably gone a step ahead to help fix it for you. Imagine you're rude to the person. The person will leave you like that.
Yeah.
And so it's not just to tick boxes, but they also help to open doors for you. In meetings, how do you carry yourself? Do you talk over people? These are some of the common mistakes. You want to make your point. So even if the person is talking, you have to cut the person in the middle sentence and then talk. Even when you're making your point, you have to shout, disagreeing with people. How do you carry yourself in meetings? When you're looking at email etiquette, very simple, basic things. I've had people who have sent me emails without knowing me. They've never met me. They don't know me. And they send an email and say, sweetheart. Can you imagine? My
Yeah.
dear.
No.
No. And so if certain opportunities elude you, who would you blame?
Mm.
These are basic things that you expect that corporate etiquette, simple manners should teach you.
Right here, Sunny 88.7 FM. We're talking about grooming and etiquette right here on the I Am Drive today. And a few messages. Let me share a few messages. This one says that I had to wear a red lipstick to get a particular buyer's attention to list my brands before. I think it adds to your confidence as well. Makes you even forget your problems, kind of. Every time I'm doing makeup, no matter how light it is, my mood is lit. And I think this is from lawyer Claudia. It says, "Hi, Ajman. It's good to have Pearl live in this morning. She's my Sunday school teacher at Cedar Mountain Chapel. It's good to have you. Yes, I want to chip in that indeed your appearance is your business card. You can never overlook. Greetings is an icebreaker." That's coming from KB this morning. Join us. We're live on Sunny TV. We're live on our Facebook. You can check us over there. We're live on YouTube. Remember to subscribe to our page when you get there. This is brought to you by Naglin Mobility Enhancement Center and HR certification. And join us with your comment 0540-130684. That is 0540-130684. We're talking to Pearl Annoh Boadi, growth and strategy lead, elevated professional consult, big time corporate person as well, right here this morning on the I Am Drive. And I think this conversation, part of our Love 360 series, and how we're loving ourselves and our jobs. You can't love your job when your job is not loving you. The way you appear at the job, it's not loving you. It doesn't matter how you love your job. You just may lose it. Share your questions as well. I'm sure you may have something, a question that has been on your mind about grooming, about etiquette. Pearl will try and tackle it as well. 0540-130684. 0540-130684. Pearl, it's clear that grooming and etiquette is as important as our professional qualifications that we're happy to wave in the faces of people. But would you say there's maybe a golden rule of grooming and etiquette that can transform one's professional influence? Would you say there is?
Definitely, I would say there is. Just like we know that treat other people the way you want to be treated, I would say that treat yourself the way you would want other people to treat you. And this comes with intentionality. And so one word that I would say, remember, is intentionality. Whether it's with your personal grooming, whether it's your etiquette corporate wise, or even socially, intentionality. It's very important. If you are very intentional about the way you present yourself, in your appearance, in the clothes you wear, in your makeup, in your hair, in your shoes, the way you smell, that goes a long way to show employers that you are dedicated to your job. You love your job, because if you're taking care of yourself well, you're being intentional about your personal grooming, then they know that you would be intentional about the work you're doing. You're not being unkept about it. Now, also, when it comes to etiquette, how you relate to people, how you relate to your superiors, subordinates, your peers, how you carry yourself in meeting, the way you talk, even in your emails, your interaction with people, all of that shows a lot of intentionality. People address you accordingly. Now, just to chip in, we know that as corporate people, our lives are not just limited to the office and the desk.
Yeah.
There are times when we have networking events, we have networking activities, we go for corporate lunches, dinners, cocktails. How do you even present yourself? Do you know what cutlery is appropriate for what? Do you know how you drink or how you eat? What kind of drinks do you take, what kind of drinks, food do you even eat in certain settings. You're going for a meeting with a client trying to sign a deal, and you go and order the most expensive wine, expecting that the clients will pay for it. These are bad. Simple, clear example. I'll give you an example of somebody who went for a meeting with a client. All the groundwork had been done. The only thing left that day was to meet for the final signing. And it was supposed to be over lunch. Now, the orders were taken and the person's food came first before the client's food. As soon as the person received the food,
started eating.
You know. The client didn't say a word, waited for the food to come, finished eating, and they said goodbyes without signing the deal. Now, the corporate person is wondering, what happened? I have done everything. Only for the client to call the superior to say, this is what happened. No matter how hungry you are, restraints, being intentional about where you are, what you want, and where you want to go gives you a lot of discipline. And so the golden rule is intentionality with everything you do.
But would you say grooming and etiquette standards are universal? Would you say they're universal, or maybe culturally we may have things here that when you go into other cultures or other places, still on corporate, you would maybe have to do things differently, or there's standard things that you see, listen, wherever you go, at least do these.
There are basics, and then there are things that change because of culture. I'll give you an example. Even the way we give our business cards differs from culture to culture. When you go to the countries in Asia, the way you give the business card, so in Ghana, we can give the business card with one hand, and then you look at it and read. Okay. Now, when you go to the countries in Asia, you're supposed to hold it
both hands
at the tip, face the person and give to the person. So if you don't know this and you just will, you are making an error. The way you even interact. So wherever it is you go, we need to understand the culture. Even here in Ghana, there are certain multinationals that have different cultures here. How do you relate to people? Or you say that because they're in your country, they should know and behave like you. How do you interact with people? How do you interact with... And by God's grace, because of where I've worked in different multinationals, I've had the opportunity to work with different nationalities and to understanding different cultures. When you're talking to an Indian and the person keeps shaking their head, in Ghana, you say, this person is disagreeing with everything I'm saying. But an Indian is actually agreeing with you by shaking the head. And so if you don't know this...
It's quite interesting. I mean, I've met some Indians, IPMC, others, and they're like, oh, I love it, but they're shaking their head. Yeah.
So if you don't know these basic things and you're talking, you'll be thinking, is a presentation I'm making not making sense? Am I making errors? But really and truly, the Indian is agreeing with you and in support. And so if you don't understand these basics, knowing where you are, where you want to be, we make a lot of blunders for that.
You know, in wrapping up, I mean, we'll look at maybe if there's some messages in there, but in wrapping up, Pearl, how do you think we can use grooming and etiquette, you know, in the area of personal discipline? I feel... I see people who are well groomed, people who are intentional, may just appear as respectful sometimes. And so how can we use our grooming and or etiquette as a tool, you know, of influence? Maybe that's the last thing I'd like you to then look at a question or, you know, comment before we wrap up.
Rightly, just as you said, when you're dressed well, it affects the way you see yourself and even the way you carry yourself. When you're dressed well, people assume, rightly as you said, that you're respectful, you are respected, and so the way they see you and relate to you also changes. And so in this era that we find ourselves, as we're developing ourselves, as we're trying to grow into our next level, let us understand that influence is not just with the voice. It first starts with ourselves. Influence is not just with people who are like you, that sit on radio or sit on TV every day. Influence is not just with people like the president. In our small way, how we carry ourselves, we influence people, our colleagues, the people we live with at home, our family members, our friends. And so once we make sure that we are being intentional about everything we do, and it shows not just in our grooming, but our etiquette, the way we carry ourselves, the way we speak to people. If you love your work, you love people, you are disciplined, it will show in your respect for others. And this shows in the way we influence people many, many, many times over.
You know, Pearl, I remember Yawa Hansen Kwao
Yes.
shared something, I think weeks back, that she had the opportunity in a conference to meet a president of a nation. And this was, I think, long ago. And the early stages of her grooming and etiquette career. And they shook hands. And she snapped the finger of
Oh my goodness.
the person. And she's like, immediately her bodyguards are, it's like, what was that? Like, what? Immediately, red alerts, like things are happening. And she's like, what's going on here? It was the snap of the finger she did on the person.
Yes.
This is something we do here.
You're shaking like your bro.
I mean, hey, bro, what's up, man? I mean, this is something we do here in Ghana. Even when we meet our pastors, we meet big people, we will still shake hands and try to snap, the finger. Internationally, this was looked at a security issue. So like, man, the bodyguards were running quickly. They held me, pulled me away, asking, what was that? It's like, this is, I mean, yeah, we this is a common thing. And so there are things that you may see as common culturally, but then it may be absolutely different. I think these are stuff that we really, really have to pay attention to. Somebody said, comment on etiquette, on sense of humor. Comment on etiquette, on sense of humor. I don't know if I'm getting this right, still typing, but then we'll quite look at that.
Okay.
In the meantime, let me just say, okay, so this one says, hey, I'm dropping a question about dressing for the corporate world. I know places like Google have a super relaxed dress code, but you seem to be focusing a bit more on traditional companies. How do you know what's acceptable? Does the industry dictate a dress code, or it's more about company culture? Something to look like.
Yes.
I went to an agency here at Laboni, and I saw people in very relaxed chairs. Some are literally on the carpet and the floor. There's a table tennis in there. People are wearing shorts. I was dressed to kill, going for my meeting, and I realized that what's happening in here? That's a good question.
Yes. It's great to have that. And we see that I mentioned earlier that understand the industry you're in, and we're not focusing just on the traditional ones, because if you know the industry you're playing in, that also helps to inform the kind of dressing that you need to dress. Just like you mentioned with your friend who was in banking, that the way you dress to work in the bank is very different from the way you dress to work even in a manufacturing company that I have worked in so many times. And when you go to a manufacturer, I remember years back in one of our offices, a colleague of ours came to work one day wearing a jacket. And as soon as he walked in the office, everybody was like, did you go for an interview? Did you go for an interview? Because did you come from an interview?
Yeah.
Because it's not common.
It's a jeans,
Exactly. Yes. So understand the industry you're in, understand the company and the culture that it allows. Regardless, know that regardless of the flexibility, it doesn't give room to be unkept. It doesn't give room to be so relaxed and lazy to the extent that you are leaving your grooming. You can work in a I work with creative agencies, where their culture is so relaxed.
Yeah.
They wear sweatpants, sneakers.
Yeah.
So relaxed. the way they keep their hair and everything is so relaxed. However, you can tell that this person is properly groomed even in the midst of all of that. And that's what we are talking about. You don't need to lose yourself just because of where you're working. However, you should understand that grooming is what speaks for you even when you are not there. And so you need to be very cautious of that.
And this one says, I'm asking the question, the one on sense of humor, because I have a young adult in my team at church. He's always been funny and playful. And already some team members are writing him off. How do I get him to change from that?
This is something that happens often, even in workplaces. People get familiar too soon. You meet somebody once, twice, and already you think the person is your co-equal, or your person is your brother, or your best friend. Understanding where you are, who you're talking to, your audience. Always know that you have an audience you're talking to. Whether you're talking to just one person or 1,000 people, they are your audience. Whether you're having a friendly conversation with your best friend, know that they are your audience. And once you have that in your mind all the time, you would know how to present yourself. Rightly, people get written off by the way they joke about everything. And we all have testimonies of people that we haven't taken seriously. Even when they're making sense, even when they're saying the best of things, they're giving the best of solutions. Because, this person is always joking. In our minds, the best solution cannot come from this person. And so what you need to do is have a conversation with this person and just make him understand what he is losing and the perception that he is being created by all of this. And in workspace, even in church, wherever we find ourselves, perception travels further because it's carried on even in our absence. And so we need to know that and make the person understand that familiarity too soon is not going to help you.
And chances are this young adult is working, it probably may be the same attitude. Lawyer Claudia said, the legal profession requires us to wear black and white for court. These days, we're allowed to wear dark clothes. You can wear all other colors elsewhere, but not before the lords and ladies. So you can't. Indeed, and so there are requirements everywhere. But I think grooming goes beyond what you're wearing, how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you respect, how you address people. And I love that bit as we wrap up where you said, treat yourself, the way you want people to treat you. So treat yourself with respect.
Exactly.
You can't wear stuff that, and I think it brings me to, I think Dr. Telma shared something earlier. If I can fish that message quickly as we wrap up. She said that the days that you know your dressing is on point, your confidence level doubles.
Exactly.
For me, anytime I second guess a dress, I don't wear it. That's Dr. Telma, and I think this goes a long way.
It goes a long way
and so it goes a long way to help.
Just
Big
to
thanks.
add something, Ajuman, when she talked about second guessing dresses, one of the things I would leave with as whether corporate, formal, informal, for our church and community, everything is to be intentional. And to avoid second guessing and running dates for events and all of that, it's important that you prepare ahead of time. So you're working Monday to Friday. Why don't you use 30 minutes on Sunday to pick out all your clothes for Monday to Friday, and even pick extra, maybe extra 1, extra 2, for emergency situations or situations where this dress that you were going to wear on Wednesday suddenly has a faulty zipper, and so you have an alternative. Once you do that and you lay out your clothes for the whole week, you are able to plan. You prevent that whole last minute rushing and not paying attention to your clothing and your appearance and everything. It also allows you time to breathe, so that you have everything planned and you groom yourself well.
On Facebook, before we wrap up, Emily Martha Notice said, very enlightening. Pearl is my classmate from Holy Child. Proud of said, here in Sunny, your classmates will catch you, Pearl. You can't come around and go like that. Yeah, Dubia Hammond said, great discussion. God bless I Am Drive and entire team. God bless you too, Pearl. Well said. Well done, Pearl. For those who are listening and I think, hey, I think we'd love Pearl to come around. We'd love her to do some stuff for us. Maybe not just on grooming, because I know you're big on marketing, PR strategy, and all of that. And how do we do that? Is it maybe via social media, or we can actually give you a call?
Oh, yes, you can give me a call. And my number is 0277 552019.
Can we do that? Yeah, maybe slowly, kakra.
Yes.
0277.
Okay, so I'll start. 0277 552019. Yes, you can give me a call any day, anytime, and we'll talk.
Big thanks, Pearl, for coming. Here at Sunny Day, I think this is the beginning of, a good marriage with you.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes,
we're
fine.
going to do things by.
It's fine.
We love Aminia's submission. I'm sure beyond this, we can look at other ways that we can partner with you, your company, your team, maybe here at Sunny, and to help our listeners as well. Big thanks to all of you for joining. This has been our Love 360 session. And this month, we've spoken about love for God, love for work, love for our children, love for our health, and today, love for work.